Hello everybody, it's Mish here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thanks for stopping by, and if you are returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Today is another page in the Daphne's Diary Gluebook journal. If you are new, this is something we started, oh gosh, well over a year ago now. I'd hazard to say a year and a half, but I'm not exactly sure. So we have completed volume 1, and in volume 1 all of the tutorials are in the Daphne's Diary Gluebook journal playlist. So if you haven't checked them out, then I'd love for you to go and have a look. Gosh, we're getting into the fall again, so I know it's been well over a year, because these were the ones that we did last fall. I love them. But yeah, so there's all kinds of gorgeous little pages, and they are on that playlist. Now, I had to stop before this was completely full because I overestimated, and the book just is getting too fat. So we've moved along. Set that aside for now. We've moved along and are now starting to work in volume 2. So in volume 2, we have done a few pages already, and we are going to move on to our, oh, I still love those little girls, are so sweet. On to our next page. I think I'll skip this page. I think I'll actually use this page right here. So I am going to set this aside, I think. I already have my background that I'm going to use, and I have that cut out, so it fits perfectly. I'm going to move this aside. And I went to the mail a few days ago, and I'll have to show you the most fantastic happy mail that I got, but I'll do that at the end. But in the mail was Daphne's Diary number 6. So I am going to do a couple projects, I think, straight away from this issue. I still have some ones that I want to work on from the past ones. We aren't going to forget about those ones, but as soon as I started flipping through here, I immediately thought, oh, I know what I want to do with that. So the first image that I want to work with is one of these hot air balloons. So it is a back to front. I've already cut one out, so we're just going to use this little one. And then I've cut out a bunch of the clouds. So I have the little clouds already cut out. And then a little further along, I've cut a piece of floral, a flower, and I fussy cutted that out. And then from this page, I cut out a few more little flowers. There we go. And then from this page, I cut out this little flower, and this one came from that page. And then lastly, from this page here, this one here, I cut out this little butterfly. You know, I'll never, get over or stop repeating myself as far as the images that I really do love. But one thing that I do kind of wish there was more of, and that's because I'm a butterfly person. So some issues, there are quite a few little butterflies, and like this one, there's hardly any. Like there's ones here, but I don't really want to cut that up just to get a butterfly. And then there is a nice little one here, which again, I don't want to cut up the image just to get the butterfly. So I wish there was some little random ones just, dotted around on the pages. Like here would be a great place to put a little butterfly, because then I could cut that out. Or here, or just kind of stuck in there. Butterflies or little birds, because those are really nice little images to embellish your pages with. Right, so I'm going to set that aside. And you know what? My craft room, I've been so busy with work and everything else that I don't even have, Chester can hardly get in this room. So he's going to be indignant because I've got him blocked off here, but he just has to learn. For those of you who don't know who Chester is, it's my big orange crazy cat. Okay, so there's the background that I'm going to use, and then I've just taken a piece of, I think I like that at the top. It looks a bit moody because it kind of looks, and this is just a piece of pattern paper that I just had from my stash, and it's just blue. And then this is just another piece of pattern paper that I have. So my book measures, or my page measures, about 5.5 by 8.25 is about the size of my pages. This little card here that I'm folding, and again, it's going to be a pop-up thingy. As if you do watch me, you know that I love my pop-up thingies. But this is about 4 inches by 10. So I fold it in half to give me a 4 by 5 card. So I then found at Michael's in the beginning of the year, they may still have it, but they had, I'll show you, because I don't often buy a lot of paper pads anymore. You know, there is an expense to it, and I do have a lot of paper. But the thing I liked about this one, so it was 180 sheets, and I think I got it, it was $30, and I got it half price at $15 or something. So it's a really thick pad, and it was papers that I thought I would use, the color combinations and just muted backgrounds for the most part. But the thing that I did like about this pad is it's copy paper thin. It's like very, very thin. And the reason that I wanted to get a pad like that is for doing things like origami and folded bits of things, like when we do the one sheet wonders and stuff. The thinner the paper, sometimes it just fits better in a junk journal. So I was really kind of happy about that. So I went to that pad and I got this sheet of paper. So what we're going to do with this sheet of paper, just going to set some of this stuff aside, is I'm going to get my biggest scoreboard. Okay, and this is 12 inches long. So remember, my card is 10. So when I open it up, it's 10 that way. So I'm going to actually score this in the middle, which would be 6. Okay, I'm not going to score heavy-handed or I'll rip the paper. Actually, I'm going to score it this way. So I'm going to score this one this way at 6. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to score an inch on either side. So I'm going to score at 5. And I'm going to score, flatten the paper because it does tend to bunch up when it's this thin. And I'm going to score at 7. Okay, so now I'm done with my Martha Stewart scoreboard. That is so old. My gosh, I've had that for I don't know how many years. Okay, so we're going to take and fold our first one, the mountain fold. So we're going to fold it just that way, like so. And then we're going to take these little folds and we're going to fold them back onto themselves. Okay, and then fold this up like this. So when we open it, and I'm making sure my edges are all straight there before I press my fold down. So when we open it, we have a little bit of a pop-up mechanism like this. Okay, so then I'm going to take my pencil and my ruler, because that's, you know me, I have to get it in the center. So it's 4 across, so I'm just going to make a little mark at 2. And then I'm going to take this is a 2.5 inch punch, and I'm just going to try to eyeball that I've got equal amounts on both sides, and then this is kind of in the center on that line. So looks about right. And I'm going to go right down to pretty near the bottom without going over the fold. So if you're worried, just make a little line that you don't go past. And I need to pull it just a bit this way. And I think that's pretty good. Let's go there. All right. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a little thing like that. Okay, so then what I'm eventually going to do, is I'm going to glue this onto here. Right? Maybe you know where we're going with this one. Right, so for now though, I'm going to set that aside. So then at the dollar store, you can get these things that I've used from time to time on my channel that I just lost one. Here we go. So these are those self-laminating business card things. So what I want to do is I want to take a 1-inch strip, because I know that this is 1 inch, and there's probably lots of ways you could do this. And you know what? There was so many ideas I had with it, this thing, that I may actually do another idea later on down in like next year or something, because I do love these little balloons. Sorry, I just seen a little rough edge here. Okay, so what do I want? I want my trimmer, and I'm going to trim this at about 1 inch, because that's about what I have. I have about 1 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that at about 1 inch. And then I'm going to roughly, I want that to go, so I can go almost to the bottom of this with this, but I want it roughly in the center. I can always trim the bottom a little bit. Okay, so I'm kind of saying, I don't know if this will mark on here, but I'm going to make a little mark roughly here. Okay, so when I put my umbrella, so I'm going to take this adhesive part off here. Oops, and I want to put, so I'm lining this up. I guess the best way to do this is I've got it in my squares here. And then I'm going to put that almost to the bottom, but not quite. Okay, and then I'm just going to put it so that it catches it. So I was off a little bit here, which I'm not too bothered about. Just going to trim that so that it's even when I look at it. Okay. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this through here so that when my card opens up, my balloon's going to pop up. Okay, I can take off just a little bit more here at the bottom. Find my scissors. Right here. These scissors got all full of tape there the other day when we were working on our, I forget what we were working on. When we were using this, our last project. Oh, when we were doing our last page in this. Okay, so I'm going to just get some score tape. If you have some just double-sided tape, whatever kind of double-sided tape, I find that works the best on plastic type surfaces. So I'm just going to get a little bit down here, and then I'll do the other side. So let's just get this side down. Okay, so I'm just going to take that off. So it's Saturday here. This is going to come out on Friday, with any luck. I always say that, and then sometimes things get in the way, but I'm going to post this up tonight in advance, I think. It was very cool this morning. I got up, it was like 16 degrees here. All right, so I'm just kind of eyeballing where the bottom of that balloon's going to be. And I'm going to put this here. I'm lining it up on my lines, but so I just want that pretty much in the middle. Right there. And I think I need to cut a piece off I'm not sure that's gonna, it's not gonna close. It's gonna be hindered from closing a little bit. Where's my big scissors? Okay, there we go. So yeah, so it was pretty cool this morning. I don't know what 16 is in Fahrenheit right offhand, but it's pretty chilly. It's not freezing here by no means. It's nice. It's nice for sleeping. But I did have to wear a little windbreaker this morning when I went out. Although in saying that, I'm sweating now. That's the old hormones, I think. All right, let's see what happens with this. Get back through our hole. Okay, so the reason I needed to cut just a little bit off the top there was that wasn't folding well on top of there. And I want the basket, I don't want the basket to sort of be below the little aperture. So I'm thinking that that will work well. Okay. So I'm just slowly starting to close that. And I want it to, oh, I got off a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we got that side fastened down. So then I'm just going to put just a little bit on this side too. Just to keep that closed. Okay. Voila. I just want that to be straight. Okay. So when the card opens, so we're going to fasten that down to there. When the card opens, the balloon is going to stand up like it's kind of flying, which I think will be cool. So, but before we put that down, I'm going to figure out which side I want as my top and bottom. I think I like it this way. So I'm just going to decorate this side a little bit before, again, I put it on there and then it's awkward to show. I found these little blue gems in my stash, so I thought that this would look cute on the balloon side, so that kind of picks up the light. And then we could just do, got some other little ones here. And I think I would just go at this point, oh, I know what we could do. I'm going to go back to those wee little ones from last week, because there's some nice little colored blue ones there. And there's a couple little nice little orange ones that would go with that. So, just going to use my little quickie glue. And maybe, oh, I know what we could do. We could just dot a couple little dots down this little ribbon here. And maybe every other one. So I'll start with those three to start with. And then I just have this little gem thing I got from, I think it's Marvy. Had this a while. Okay, and then you can just put the gem down. Oop, like so. I have to put a little bit more glue there. Okay, there's one, and I had, oh, here it is, another little one here that we can turn over and use. And these I just picked up, it might have been on Amazon, I'm not sure, or it might have been in a nail kit. I had gone through this phase of doing nail art, and again, these are old, but when my mom had cancer, and she wasn't well, she liked for me to do her nails, and so I would put little bling on her just to make her feel better. So I'm loving that. So I don't know if you're going to see that well, but it catches the light there. That is gorgeous. And those little gems pick up really well. And this little quickie glue is great for adhering those little gems, because it writes just like a little pen, so it's easy for you to control, and it has a good little grab. And we used it last week as well, because this little quickie glue, you can use it as a glue, but you can also, if you don't use it as a glue, you can let it dry, and it dries tacky, so then you can use it for foils and stuff. Foils or gilding flakes, etc. I think that's sweet. So I've got the blue, and I've got the sort of teal, so maybe just a couple little, like a little orange, maybe on the side there. Maybe just a couple little orangey colored ones. I think I've got orange here. I've got red. Let's try that color and see. Then we can just put, yeah, I think that would work. We don't have to go overboard with it. Or you can do, gosh, you could just really tart this up. Okay, so then I'm going to close that up so that I don't spill it, because that does happen to me. Okay, so I'm just going to move that aside for a sec. Let's put down just a little bit of the glue. Okay. And then I'll just use my tweezers to set it on top there. And then when while that's drying, it doesn't take very long. I can get this little guy. There we go. Right, so then he's going to just get that glint of light when we open it up. Okay, so that's going to be like that, and then we're going to glue that right on there. So while that's drying, I want to work on my cover. So for the cover of my little flip-up card, that's where I had cut these little flowers, because I want to put just some little floral images on the front. And I have a little saying. How are we going to do that? That's kind of cute. Kind of like that. Maybe just a little thing like that. And I'm just going to put this down just with some Elmer's glue. So just a little bit at the top. And to do my little saying, I got out my Brother P-Touch, which I haven't actually had out for a while. And I used the thing I like about the Brother P-Touch is that you can do a white lettering on a black background, or you can do all kinds. The P-Touch is good because you can buy a bunch of different ribbons for it, which are nice, like gold on white, gold on black, black on gold, etc. Okay, so you've got that down. So this morning I got up and I wasn't feeling the best this morning. I was kind of tired out, and I even went to bed early last night. On a Friday night I usually try to push the boat out a bit and stay up a little bit later, like till 11 or something. But I was so tired that I actually went to bed early. By early I mean 9 o'clock. I did read a little bit in bed. I'm just finishing up Jane Eyre again. I read it this summer when we were in PEI. I bought a book at Value Village when we were in PEI. which I was glad because I read a little bit of Anne when I was there, but I started reading Jane Eyre again, just in the evenings when we were sitting in the cottage, just chilling out. And that gave me the idea that I wanted to start to do the altered book, which I'm hoping to get back to soon, about Jane Eyre. So I have it on my Kindle edition, on my ebook. And I thought, well, I'm going to read it again, but I'm going to highlight things like where it mentions different flowers or different birds or some of her quotes. And then I'm just going to go back and refer to that when we start doing the altered book. Again, I'm hoping to get at that sometime. So these, I'm just putting blue because of the blue background. And I thought they would kind of stand out a bit. So my saying, and I ended up printing it 3 times because I couldn't decide it, is you lift me up like a hot air balloon on the inside. And this is dedicated to you guys, especially my kindred spirits, that when I started my channel, I never would have thought that I would meet you. So I'm so happy that I did. I'm finding though that I kind of do like that font because it really stands out. But the like a hot air balloon, I think is going to be just, but I could put like a hot air balloon. I mean, that's an option. So then I made it, and I really liked this font. You lift me up like a hot air balloon. But then I was thinking that it might be a bit too little. So then I thought I liked this one the best. And again, that would fit. So I'm going to save these, and somebody might get these in a Happy Mail. And I think I've decided I'm going to use this one. You lift me up like a hot air balloon. Okay, so let's cut this. So I'm going to use that's in the inside. And this would be a great card to give to somebody. Great idea. That if you're not actually doing a journal with your Daphne's diary, you can just make this card. Okay, so let's try to get this relatively straight. I'm not sure how, I can't quite see this, but let's see. Yeah, I think that worked. So you lift me up. So pretty. And then now that those gems should be dry, I'm going to just glue this down. I'm going to glue it, but I need to be really careful with the glue. I could use the thing about Fabri-Tac. Oops. Something's just gone flying. That I like because Fabri-Tac is a silicone glue and it won't warp your paper. I just find sometimes it's fussy to work with. But let's use the Fabri-Tac. Okay, so I'm just going to go right to the edge because I do want it tacked down. And I'm just going to go relatively lightly, and then I'll just use my finger to smudge them down. Because if you leave a rigid line, you're going to see the rigid line. It's not going to warp your page, but you don't want to leave a lot of rigid lines. Okay, so got it stuck on my finger. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to butt that right up to there. Excuse my head if it gets in the way. And I'm going to, oops, there we go. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. It's a little bit crooked at the bottom, but we can straighten that up. So that's our top part, and we can trim that a little bit. That's not a problem. I can see a little bit of the white, but that's fine. And the same as on the side over there. Okay, so I'm just going to start at the base there and put a little bit of this down, like so. Make sure it's right in the crease there. And then there we go. Okay. So now I've got that started. It's fine. Then we can just add some more along there. Just going to put down my, okay, and roll that out. All right. So that's that part done. So that's the front, and then that's going to lift up. Okay. So I just want to trim this a wee little bit here. You could also, if you like the grunge look, you know, and you ink your edges, you can just ink your edges a bit. Okay, so then what we have is we have this little card, like so, and then when you open it up, you lift me up, and then there's your hot air balloon hanging in midair, and we're going to put the other part of our saying like a hot air balloon. But before we do that, so this is going to be the background it's going to be on when it's in the book. We have some things to do. So I've cut out some clouds that were in the, that were with the balloon. Okay, so I'm going to cut out those clouds. And then what I thought, to make it kind of look like the balloon is in the air, we're going to take, we could either just take some glue and glue it, but I wanted to have a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this foam tape, and I'm going to go right over to the edge of this cloud, and I'm just going to attach it to the back of the balloon. Oh, but we need to make sure that it's not going to extend out over the side of the card. So I need it, actually I need to move this, because I think I'll move it down to down here. So then it can be, and that wasn't from the tape, that was part of the, yeah, like that. So when the balloon pops up, you've got your little cloud attached to it, which is so cute. Okay, and then we could put another one there if you wanted, or cut a cloud in half and just put half of a cloud. But I think I'm also going to put just a cloud in the background there. So when it stands up, you're really not going to see that top portion a lot, but kind of thought it would just be nice to have either there or maybe down there. Maybe just in behind. You can put it wherever you want. I think I'm going to put it right there actually. Okay, so with this one here, I'm not going to bother to do a dimensional. I'm just going to stick it down. Yeah, I like that. I like that when I'm looking at it, you can see a little bit of the clouds in behind there. And then when you pop it up, you've got that 3D effect. And then all your gems there. So I also wanted to put the butterfly. Now I know the butterflies do not tend to be in the atmosphere, but butterflies just make me happy. Okay, so we're going to cut that off like so. And if you didn't have one of these, you can always, if you have a one of the little jelly rolls, you can get these at Michael's for a few bucks. Now, with the jelly roll ones, you can get, I think there's 3 thicknesses. You can get 0.6, 0.8, and 10. So if you had a little black piece of paper, then you could just write your saying. Or you could print it off on your computer. Or you could do maybe other things too. Right, so for this one here, I'm kind of thinking I would like to have something dimensional, either the butterfly or a cloud, because that just, I think I'll put my saying down. Kind of know where that's going to go, and that will sort of ground what else I want to do. Okay, so I'm thinking right around there maybe. Okay, and then let's see. Put those maybe at a little bit of an angle. Yeah, so I'm going to put this one on dimensional. I don't know why. It just, in my eye, it just looks like it wants to be on a dimensional. So we'll put that on a dimensional. And then I'm going to put my butterfly down. I'm only going to put the middle of the butterfly, because once it's dry, I can lift up its wings. And then I'm just going to put this cloud down. Okay. And then I'm just going to take a few more of my little gems, and I'm just going to put a couple down, like there's just a little bit of reflection in the sky, like so. And you could put more down. You could decorate it a lot more. And then I have these little sequins that again look like there's just reflection in the sky. So I'm going to put down a few of these little sequins. And I like my little gold rivets. Just get these at the dollar store. But I'm going to, oops. I'm going to grab one that, there we go. And I'm going to put, I like the gold. I like gold and blue, it seems. Although silver and gold and blue go good together. Right, so here's our little pop-up card with our little balloon. And the good thing about the balloon is it's the same on the other side too. But you're not really going to see the other side much. Okay, so, and there's the top of our card. So I want this to fasten down here. So I'm going to put this down, and you could decorate this too. You could actually, if you wanted to, cut out another cloud from the book that I put down somewhere, and now I can't find it. I think Chester might have taken that off to read it. Oh, here it is. I think that would look good, because it would carry sort of the theme through to the inside if we just use another cloud. But you don't have to if you don't want to. So I'm just going to use my little Fiskar knife to kind of get that out. And then I'll just quickly trim that. Okay. Because I think that this would look good. Or would it? Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. So it hasn't rained here, to the best of my knowledge. And, well, I don't know when the last rain. It's been a while. So I've had to go out and do some watering, because believe it or not, I still have a hanging basket. I had 3 this summer. I bought them in May at Costco. And I actually did throw out 2 because they were just getting a little bit too, just a little bit too ratty looking. So but I kept one, and it's doing better than it was doing in the summertime. They're good baskets. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking, do we like that? I don't think so. It was worth a try though. But if you wanted to decorate this, you could put more flowers around it. But I'm kind of happy with the way that that is looking. The other thing that you could do when you go to put it down, you could leave a pocket if you wanted to. Again, I'm just gonna put that right down, and then it will open flat and it will look like that, which is kind of cute. So let's get this down, and it doesn't really matter at this point if I use Elmer's glue. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to get right to the edge though, so that it stays down well. And then something stuck to that. Okay, let's get that down. All right, and let's try to get it in the center. It is going to open up bigger than the page, but that's fine. So I'm kind of thinking maybe about there, because I think that's good. So it's a little bit crooked. Ugh. It moved a bit when I went to rub it down. What's that look like? Does that look straight? I think it looks pretty good. Okay. So last Christmas, the girls gave me these little fasteners, and they're for the backs of pictures. I used it in one of my other pages that we did, but they come in a big pack like this, but they look like these little things, and they're good for, you know, keeping the back of the picture in. But there's so many ways that you could use these things, and today I want to use one because I also want to. I like to use the stuff that they give me, and I don't know, it's just nice. And I love hardware. That does look like it's a bit crooked though, but that's okay. So let's go to 4, so that's right around there. Okay. So then, is that about where I want it? Let me see. Yeah, I think that's good. So what I'm going to do is use a little brad. So these do come with screws, which, what am I looking for? I mean, you could probably do something creative with the screw part of it, but for this, I'm just going to use a brad. I'm just going to make my little hole first. Then we'll put this down, and we'll put our little brad in. Little hole there. And there. So then we have a little fastener, so that when we open the fastener and we say, "You lift me up," like a hot air balloon. And then we've got all our little gems that catch the light. All right, so now to find the book. So and I'm just going to put that right in there, just like that. And that will be another page done. So I don't need to do that right now, but there it is. I hope you liked it. But now I want to show some of my happy mail. So I went to the mail as I said, a few days ago, and I got this big box, and I was thinking, oh my, it's just like Christmas. So inside the box was the parcel, which was wrapped in this lovely wrapping paper that I will definitely be using for different projects. But it was from Melanie, so thank you, Melanie, so much. She wrote me this very touching card, and Melanie, you do the best cards, and I believe those are my favorite spellbinder gems as well. So I was actually quite touched, and I was feeling a little fragile that day, And when I read the card, it actually brought a tear to my eye. So thank you so much. So there was some stamps in there, and I am going to try to find a time to do a few cards with this, and I'm going to send those out as a happy mail, especially to you, Melanie. I just need to find a chance to get at that. And she's from Winnipeg, so I don't have a card from Winnipeg, so I think that's awesome. And then some fall napkins, some vellum, which I do love the vellum, and I hadn't seen this vellum before. And you definitely are a kindred spirit, because this is the exact tape. When you see me do my tape, especially for the Marguerite Miller, it's this tape that I use, and this is the exact box of refills. And it's funny because it was on my list for this weekend to get some, and it was just like a miracle that I opened up the box and there's the tape runner. So thank you. And then this, like, I've never seen at a shop kind of like the swatches in this way. So that's really awesome, and I'll definitely, you know, make use of some of this in my future journals and whatnot. So thank you so much. It was really touching. And for all of you who send me happy mail and think of me, you know, no matter when I go, whatever I get, I'm so appreciative. It just makes me feel really nice, and it wasn't expected when I started my channel. So thank you. But that's it for today. So I really hope you enjoyed our little project. And until we meet again, I do hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.